everyone. I'm Varda Sharma, editor Newsband, daily English newspaper of Navi Mumbai. Today we have with us Professor Savita Ladage from Homi Bhabha Centre for Science Education, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. She has made us all proud as she has been named as the winner of Royal Society of Chemistry's prestigious Nyholm Prize for Education in recognition of her contributions towards chemistry education. Welcome, Savita.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And thanks for your congratulations.
Professor Savita, what initially inspired your deep passion for chemistry education, and how has this passion evolved throughout your career?
Yeah, it's a nice question, Varda. Actually, let me start with my childhood. Both my parents are excellent teachers, and same is true about my grandfathers. So actually, in the family, we used to have a lot of discussions about education field per se. And I somewhere realized that education is a very deep field, needs to be followed. So that was like in the childhood, what is the story actually. Additionally, my father has a background in chemistry, and that was my introduction to chemistry. There were a lot of informal discussion used to happen at home, and it attracted my attention to chemistry. I also consider myself very lucky because in the school as well as at UG and post-graduation level, I really met some excellent teachers and who were very passionate about teaching, and the way they taught chemistry, it literally hooked me for chemistry, I mean, that's just the way I will say. In addition, when I was a student, I was pretty good at solving my colleagues, my friends' doubts about chemistry. So I really realized that I'm good at explaining things and also had a patience to explain, So various students used to come to me, no, let us sit, Savita. So that's another additional factor, okay, which has really shaped my passion. When I joined for PhD at Homi Bhabha Centre for Science Education, what happened was I met people with different disciplinary backgrounds, but having passion about the field of education. And they had really reflected upon issues and complexity of this field. And their discussions with them really helped me to open up, open up myself. Because as a young master student, I was not aware about all these complexity. And when I came here and when I was hearing to this discussion, it really helped me to understand that I need to change my lookout, my viewpoints. And at that time, Homi Bhabha Centre for Science Education, we had projects or programs which were basically with the tribal ashram schools in the Maharashtra state. Now, that is a very different kind of a population. And when I went to those schools as a part of this project, I really got fantastic experiences about ground realities, ground realities in the field. And I really realized that their experiences are so very different. And I really had tough time, in communicating chemistry concepts to them. And there I realized the need that I need to connect chemistry to life experiences. That is the way I should really think about chemistry education. And I also realized that I need to do a lot of reading about the kind of work people have been doing about chemistry education. And there where I started as a part of my PhD also, and as a part of these experiences, I started reading works of people who had ventured in this field. And all that really helped me to grow, with respect to chemistry education. So I'm very convinced to do work in this field, even today.
Yes, and in fact, your emphasis on changing the perception of students and teachers towards chemistry, it's commendable. So, please share your methodologies that you have implemented, during your course of your career, to encourage more critical observations in the labs.
Yeah. So one of my passion has been lab education, and you will agree with me that chemistry lab education, there are many factors there, like infrastructure, the kind of, money available. Then there are a lot of constraints, and often you will see that whenever the curriculum gets innovated, chemistry lab education doesn't get innovated to that extent, and for practical reasons. Let us accept that, okay? However, what is important is that if you look at the conventional lab courses, often the learners are in the role where they are kind of mechanically verifying the facts. Okay. And this role is not very good role for learners. Okay.
Mhm.
So my efforts have been to introduce inquiry as a part of chemistry lab education. These are ideas from chemistry education research, and people have done this kind of a work abroad. Okay. But I'm also equally convinced about bringing inquiry or investigatory approaches. And that is something which I have been trying to introduce in the lab courses. My work is basically through activities with teachers, because I believe that if you really engage teachers for making them understand what are these inquiry approaches means actually, and how do you really bring it to the lab education. So my whole focus have been bringing the inquiry and investigatory approach using pre-lab as well as post-lab activities to the lab education. That is something my focus. And in fact, people at HPCSC, which is like my group, my colleagues, we all work together, and this is something which we have focused our efforts on.
Mentoring chemistry educators and promoting chemistry education are some of your notable aspects of your work. So, can you please tell us, discuss how this has impacted? I mean, what changes have you observed through these initiatives?
Yeah. So Vardha, I think it's a bit too early to say about the impact and all that, because like if you consider the size of our country and the size of our education system, this is a very small effort. Okay. So I won't generalize it, but let me say, with my interaction with the small group, which is more confined to say Mumbai, Pune, or some others. So it's like where I interact closely with teachers. Okay, these teachers have been, these are practitioners, and they have been engaged with HBCSE with our own activities of say chemistry Olympiad program, or there is another activity called National Initiative on Undergraduate Science, which is meant for undergraduate, but they have been interacting with us actually. And the close interaction with these people, and I have done kind of a some readings for them so that they get the ideas. It's so very important that teachers know these ideas. And what has happened as an effect of it, that they have been venturing into writing instructional material. Okay. And instructional materials in the form of books. Okay. And this is little different than regular instructional material, because there is a book which is recently published, which actually has been informed by guided inquiry approach. You develop conceptual understanding about concepts in organic chemistry by using, series of critical questioning. Now, this is a very different kind of instructional book. The next, which is in print, is about, they have written experiments with pre-lab and post-lab, and kind of inquiry questions they used. They tested this actually before writing. They tested it. Okay, so that is another book which should be printed by January or something. So to me, this looks as a very good development. Okay, where the teachers are getting informed about by the ideas which have been kind of tested. Okay, in the field of chemistry education. But what is commendable is that they have taken it ahead to their systems. They kind of implemented these ideas. They got a confidence it's working. Based on that experiments, they have taken a serious feedback, and now it is going in the form of book. This is something very satisfactory, and I will be happy if this continues. So it's like a small effort, but it is a directional one, and the direction came with, it's not that we imposed on them or something. It's like mutual interaction, something naturally evolves, which is meaningful, and that is something nice about it. So that much I can say, but not like impact or anything like of that.
Yes, even now, uh, many students, there is a fear of chemistry, physics, and maths. So, what message would you like to give to the students?
Okay, so let me let me talk about chemistry per se. I'm not a person who is like in physics or mathematics, but chemistry, what you need to understand, if you really look at our education, okay, so what happens with respect to chemistry is that very early, when chemistry start getting introduced, almost at that stage, we bring this concept of atoms, molecules, okay, which is a powerful explanatory framework in chemistry, okay. But at the same time, it is quite abstract, okay. I mean, that explanatory framework and its manifestation, okay, it's abstract. You cannot give, or we perhaps don't give enough experiences about this abstract dimension to the students. And the other problem is that we don't connect it to our experiences at the perceptible level. So students are into, in a flux, why exactly I'm learning and how it is going to be useful or how I'm supposed to apply it. This is a tension a student has. And I think it's important to address this tension at the student end, even at the teacher end. They have this, they don't know, they're trying very hard and they want to make this accessible to the students. So they will use analogies, simulations, okay, demonstration. There are means of making it accessible, but there is a struggle and this tension needs to be recognized, okay. And if that is kind of recognized, and if you focus on these are the things, or a core ideas or core concepts, and try connecting these two different dimensions of chemistry to one another, I think that that often makes the subject very enjoyable. But of course, we have to make this visible to the students, as well as we have to talk to teachers about this tensions or the stress, which is very peculiar to chemistry. So that is something I will say. So nothing to worry. And at UG level, when you are out of this, what I will say, mark race, because 10th and 12th is dictated by the mark,
Yes.
and you probably don't get time for understanding or, developing your own interests. But UG is a very wonderful phase of science education in general. You have time, you are not pressurized. So if you venture into all these things, I'm quite sure they will start liking chemistry.
How do you plan to take your current recognition to further advance your goal and efforts towards chemistry education?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm very thankful to RAC, and the Nyholm Prize for Education is a very prestigious prize. And my institute name and my group name is on the global platform today. And RAC India chapter is also in touch with me, and I'm sure we will have activities planned for the teacher communities actually in Indian context. So one thing which I want to really consolidate is one is that you give lectures, those are or talks, which are important, but I prefer to do workshops with teachers because it's so very important to put that teacher community through those experiences. And when you put them into that experiences, okay, the kind of understanding they develop is different than what you develop through, say, listening to the talks and those kind of things. So I would like to use this opportunity to conduct more workshops with a diverse group of teachers at different parts of India. And of course, I mean, my group is me and my group or my colleagues. It's a very small group, but fortunately, we have this fantastic chemistry teachers who is kind of our extended family. And all are really, like, want to take up such opportunity and do it because we all believe and we are convinced that this is a very important field which needs to be advocated in Indian context.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. And we wish you all the success for your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.